You're watching First Alert 7 News at 9 on the CW and live on YouTube with Lauren Munt and weather with Tom Tiefertiller.
Tonight, a prayer vigil was held in Buena Vista. The greater West Texas community gathered in support of victims who died in a crash that we first told you about last night. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. We're going to continue to talk about that horrific head-on collision that killed 4 people last night. 3 of them were siblings, all of them students with Buena Vista ISD, and the other was a man from Brownfield. First Alert 7's Isabella Garriga kept up with this story all day. She's got the latest.
On FM 1053, about a mile and a half south of SH 329 is where this tragic collision took place. A community in mourning. And not just Buena Vista. People from across West Texas have sent thoughts and prayers to those that knew the victims and have showed up for this family.
This time, there's no confirmation on who was in the wrong lane.
48-year-old Gary Don Lyles from Brownfield was traveling south on FM 1053. Another vehicle carrying siblings Jackie Lee and Jaden Lewis Gerardo, 18-year-old twins, and their 16-year-old sister Nautica were driving north after being at an event in Imperial at their high school. The cars crashed into each other head-on and caught fire. All 3 teenagers died at the scene. The twins and their sister had all just celebrated their birthdays earlier this month.
2 boys just turned 18 the 13th, the twin boys, and the little girl turned 16 on the 17th.
Lyles was airlifted to Medical Center Hospital in Odessa, where he later died from his injuries. DPS confirmed that all victims were wearing seatbelts. Jaden and Jackie were known as star athletes on the Buena Vista football team, while Nautica was a key player on both the volleyball and basketball teams. First Alert 7 Sports interviewed one of the twins' teammates in August, who said they were an inspiring part of the team.
It gives me courage to keep going. Like when I feel like I'm not doing good, some of the boys like Jackie and Jaden will tell me to keep going, you got this, and I'm like, okay, I'll try.
Their mother, Heather Perkins, a 23-year-old veteran lieutenant with the Ector County Sheriff's Office, had 7 kids.
They've been a part of our family for a long time, over 40 years.
She and the other children have been met with an outpouring of community support.
It could be noted also that Heather was one of the first ones at the scene. And when she arrived, the car was on fire.
For those wishing to help, donation options include a GoFundMe page set up by the Ector County Sheriff's Office, a direct donation account for Heather Perkins, a P.O. box for cards and messages of support, and a fundraiser happening later in December. All of these details are available on our website, firstalert7.com.
Of course, the money's not going to, that don't bring those kids back. All the money's going to do is maybe help with some expenses that may pop up that absolutely no one would ever expect. We just ask God for healing and comfort and wisdom in the coming days, weeks, and months for the family of those children.
DPS reports that the crash remains under investigation and that they have asked the public to avoid the area as investigations continue. We'll of course keep you updated as details become available. Reporting for First Alert 7 News, I'm Isabella Griga.
The Ector County Sheriff's Office started a GoFundMe page for the family, which you're looking at now. Now, the goal for this GoFundMe was set this morning at around $40,000. And as you can see, in just a few hours, the GoFundMe has raised over $140,000 of that. If you'd like to help, you can find that link on our page up on our website. That's firstalert7.com. And in another tragic accident overnight, 2 people are dead following a house fire in Big Spring that happened around 2:30 a.m. this morning. Firefighters were called to the 1400 block of Park Street, where crews found a 1-story home on fire. 41-year-old Daniela Sarmiento and 37-year-old Chris Salazar were taken to Scenic Mountain Hospital in Big Spring, but unfortunately, they both died from their injuries from the fire. Now, the cause of the fire was determined to be accidental, caused by an electric heater. There were no working smoke detectors in the house at the time of that fire. And as your first alert for crime in the Permian Basin, we want to inform you about a cyber attack against the city of Odessa's network. Now, this attempt was detected and stopped before any information could get in or out, but systems were still down today while the city's cybersecurity team investigated. Now, as a result of the network being down, both the municipal court building and the billings and collection department at City Hall were closed today. The city assures residents that any payments that were due on November 21st will not be considered late. Court dockets have also been rescheduled, and there's no access to online payments or kiosks or even window services.
City Hall is a great group of folks who are working every day to make sure that the city continues to provide the services that you need. And it is a great team effort that makes those things happen.
Stoker updated First Alert 7 in a text around 3:15 today, saying that the initial report from the cybersecurity specialist looks positive, and the estimated time to be up and running is around 5 a.m. on Friday. That'll be November 22nd. Continuing to track crime now, according to our partners at the Odessa American, Odessa Parks and Recreation Director Max Reyes was booked into the Ector County Jail only a week after he was placed on administrative leave. Now, according to a report, Reyes had 2 warrants issued for official oppression and indecent assault, with a bail set at $1,500. A city employee accused him of making sexual comments towards her and hinging a possible transfer at work on her being, quote, good to him. For the full details, we've got those up on our website. Again, that's firstalert7.com. We're going to pause now and talk your weather forecast with meteorologist Sawyer McElroy. Sawyer, what can we expect?
Well, we started a little bit of a warming trend today, and that will continue as we round out the work week and head into the weekend. Here's a look at those current temperatures across the region, though, this evening, sitting in the 40s, 50s, and 60s across the state. A little bit closer to home, we are seeing those temperatures in the 50s and 60s. Looking at our winds, anywhere from being calm to about 10 miles per hour, so just a light breeze, and we are starting to see some clouds filtering in across portions of southeast New Mexico and areas west of the Pecos out there for this evening. As we head through the rest of the evening and into the early morning hours of our Friday, we are going to see things getting a little bit chilly once again as we start off our day. However, not quite as chilly as we have been seeing. Looking ahead to our weekend, I know it's only Thursday, but like I mentioned, started a little bit of a warming trend today, and that will continue as we head into the weekend with those temperatures anywhere from about 10 to 15 degrees above where they should be for this time of year. The good news is Thanksgiving travel is looking pretty good.
If you've driven around Midland or Odessa, then you've no doubt seen just about every make and model of pickup truck imaginable. But there's one that stands out, whether that's for better or worse. Tesla Cybertrucks have made their way to the Permian Basin, and I was really curious about why someone would choose to drive these flamboyantly electric vehicles, specifically right here in oil and gas country. Take a look at what I learned.
I think they're ugly. Their shape is way off. They look like a tin can, in my opinion.
Well, that seems to be a pretty common response when you ask West Texans what they think about Cybertrucks.
What's it like, the looks that you get when you're driving around town?
I mean, the everybody likes it more or less. I say like probably 99% of it's positive, and then you get a few negative reactions, right? But that's normal with anything.
I thought it was about time we get a close-up look at these renegades of the road.
I probably would prefer to drive this over any of the other vehicles I've ever owned.
There's the self-driving.
You can't sleep while it's driving. You have to pay attention.
It's kind of like driving with a new driver. So you do have to kind of make sure that it doesn't do something it shouldn't do.
The entertainment and the safety features.
Some of the things are silly. It's bulletproof. Somebody asked me if I'm going to shoot at it. I'm not, but it's just kind of fun to think of it.
But other than its strange geometric shape, is it really all that different from the trucks we see every day?
It's definitely shaped different, but if you look at the specs of it, it's basically the same thing. When Tesla designed these, they had to compete with Ford and GM and Dodge, right? I mean, they had to put the same bed space or better. They had to put the same size and wheelbase so it fit in people's garage or parking spots or whatever.
Really, the most obvious battle is gas versus electric.
I charge it at my house, which is the equivalent of like a dryer plug, and it charges in a couple hours, I guess. I don't know. I'm asleep. I'm at home. It doesn't take me any extra time.
For Jeremiah Maynard, it's the perfect car for work.
What made you want to get a truck like this working in the oil and gas industry?
I mean, it's cool looking. basically. It's very fast. It handles very well off-road. It's bulletproof.
And for Dr. William Klingensmith, it's all about the gadgets.
I'm not a car guy. Honestly, I'm more of a gadget person, and it's a lot like a gadget.
Now, they both agree that it's a great car to drive, or not drive, and they're not the only ones.
People would always say, oh, I saw you driving. And whether it was me or not, there's a handful of them in town, and I guess people don't know that, so they always think it's me.
We tried to figure out just how many people in the Permian Basin are in this club of Cybertruck drivers, but the exact amount of trucks that are shipped to the Permian Basin was not information that Tesla was willing to share. The nearest Tesla showroom is in Lubbock, which is quite the trip for any maintenance. And with 6 recalls in 2024, that's a lot of miles. But for some, the car is still worth it.
I don't have to do an oil change on the vehicle. I don't have to do anything like that. So all those things are really convenient, and it's really kind of a time saver.
So what's the impact here in the Permian Basin?
I don't think there's enough going on that anytime soon it's going to affect anybody's livelihood around here, right?
Well, that depends on who's behind the wheel.
I'm not an environmentalist. I'm not driving that to save the world.
Hopefully my one vehicle won't break the industry.
In the end, everyone's going to have an opinion, but it's really just another truck to drive through oil country. Reporting for First Alert 7 News, I'm Lauren Munt. We're going to talk some education news in the Permian Basin now, because we're your first alert that Midland College has announced a 3-year plan to extend its campus. The most significant expansion will be at MC's career and technical education programs and their facilities. That includes the Applied Technology Building, which is where energy and industry programming students work, the Health Science Facility, and the Conference Center, as well as student housing, will also be improved. Now, as to how these improvement projects will be paid for, MC's school board unanimously approved a plan to work with Fluker Architects to create a bond using input from you, the Midland community. In a First Alert update, Midland ISD is providing updates on its 9 bond projects. Take a look at these photos that the district provided. MISD confirms that the Lone Star Trails Elementary School construction is on track, and that school will open in August 2025. The district also says that new high schools are in the design phase. That's Midland and Legacy High School. Demolition is still happening at the site of the new Midland High School, and 8 elementary schools are getting renovations. They're going to start in the summer of 2025. That's also set to begin in the summer of 2025 are middle school renovations to 3 of MISD's campuses. The district also said that 50% of its safety and security upgrades to campuses across the school district are complete. And SkillPoint Alliance has teamed up with Midland College for a free electrical training program at MC's William Regional Technical Training Center that's over in Fort Stockton. This is your first alert that the classes start on January 27th, 2025, and they'll go through April 22nd. They'll be every Monday through Thursday evening from 6 to 9 p.m. And SkillPoint Alliance says that they hope evening classes will help more people be able to attend, and that the classes are meant to prepare people for entry-level electrician jobs when they complete the course. 2 staff members at UTVB have been awarded a grant to fund a project that's called Mending Mental Gaps, negotiating combat trauma via visual and textual humanities. Through that project and with the grant funding, West Texas veterans, active military members, and community members will all be able to discuss war-themed literature. Now, this is your first alert that the first discussion is happening tomorrow on the 2nd floor of the Mesa building. That'll be on UTVB's campus, again, tomorrow at 11 a.m. We're looking in the community now. The Midland Chamber of Commerce honored Midland's newly elected officials this week. You're looking at those pictures now. Officials met with the Midland community, and they all got to talk to each other about their goals for Midland's economy and Midland's future. Coming up, we've got the first alert on how you can help out those less fortunate this holiday season. Be sure to stick around. All right, we are your first alert for all things holiday. And Harmony Home Children Advocacy Center in Odessa is encouraging the community to spread some holiday cheer by adopting a Harmony Home family this Christmas. When a community member adopts a Harmony Home family, they will receive a child's wish list and clothing sizes. Now, all names will remain anonymous, but this helps families who can't afford to celebrate Christmas this year. Harmony Home's Children Advocacy Center will support 300 kids in the Permian Basin.
Kids who come through these doors, again, they face an extra burden because many times the breadwinner in the home sometimes has to leave that home because they may be the alleged perpetrator. And if that person now is not in the home providing resources, monetary, then that burdens the family.
The deadline for dropping off gifts is December 12th. Today, staff at Manor Park were honored with some holiday cheer, like we were just talking about. The staff received a donation of turkey dinners from ConocoPhillips. The dinner had all of the fixings, including a fully cooked, ready-to-eat turkey breast, gravy, stuffing, casseroles, potatoes, and, of course, you can't have Thanksgiving without the cranberry sauce.
I think after the last few years of inflation, I really think that this hits home with everybody.
225 staff members now have one last thing to worry about with the busy holiday season.
We started a warming trend today, and that will continue as we head through the weekend. All the details on what to expect coming up after the break.
Now from the First Alert 7 Weather Center, here's meteorologist Sawyer McElroy.
Good evening and happy Thursday, everybody. We started a little bit of a warming trend today, and we are going to see that continuing as we head into the weekend. Here's a look at our First Alert weather headlines. That warming trend does continue with unseasonably warm weekend temperatures on the way. But the good news is travel days are looking good if you are heading anywhere for the Thanksgiving holiday coming up next week. Here's a look at our weather makers. We do have a ridge of high pressure that has shifted slightly east and will continue to shift to the east and build across our region, helping to bump those temperatures up even more. Our normal high for this time of year is about 65 degrees. Coming up Saturday and Sunday, we're looking to see those high temperatures anywhere from about 10 to 15 degrees above where they should be for this time of year. Here's a look at our observed highs today. 60s and 70s across the region, 68 for Midland, 70 here in Odessa. Still even above where we should be for this time of year for our Thursday. Temperatures currently sitting in the 40s, 50s, and even a few 60s still. Winds are anywhere from being calm to about 10 miles per hour. And we are starting to see a few clouds across the region, especially across portions of southeast Mexico and areas west of the Pecos. For tonight, we are looking to see that trend continuing, mostly clear skies through the overnight hours as we head into our Friday. Then we are going to hang on to some cloud cover coming up tomorrow as well. Here's a look at what you will need coming up tomorrow morning. Maybe grab that jacket because it is still going to be on the chilly side with some areas into the 30s once again as we head into our Friday. And as always, you can always grab that warm beverage. A coffee in the morning is always great to have. Coming up for tonight, like I mentioned, those lows into the 30s and 40s, so not quite as chilly as we have been seeing, but still a cool start to our day. 39 overnight in Midland, 40 here in Odessa, 44 for Presidio, and those winds will be light, anywhere from about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Coming up tomorrow, we bump those temperatures up even more, 60s and 70s across the region, 70 for Midland and Odessa, 73 for Marfa, 76 for Presidio, factoring in that cloud cover as well, mostly sunny skies on tap, and those winds will remain light, just a light breeze anywhere from about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Looking ahead to our First Alert 7 10-day forecast, even warmer for the weekend, up to 79 on Sunday, but then some relief courtesy of a cold front on Monday that will cool things down about 10 degrees between Sunday and Monday. Another cold front on Wednesday will drop things even more right around where they should be for this time of year, just in time for that Thanksgiving holiday coming up on Thursday.
Up next here at 9, another West Texas athlete is taking it to the next level. Stick around for your local sports. Let's talk a little local sports now. It was signing day for Coahoma softball standout Hannah Wells. Wells led the Bulldogettes, to back-to-back state championships. And according to Max Preps, career-wise, she has a .593 batting average with 56 home runs and 182 RBIs in 3 seasons.
My parents have always been softball fans of UT, and there's something about that burnt wordage, I don't know. It's kind of ugly to some people, but I love it, so I'm excited to rep it. I'm just so grateful for the opportunity. You know, a lot of people don't get to do something like this, and I've had family and just, like I said, the community who's just poured into me over the years. So I'm so grateful just to do something like this.
Congratulations, Hannah. The First Alert Sports team will have even more local sports coverage for you tonight at 10, so be sure to tune in. All right, before we go, I want to again show you the video that we shared at the top of our show. This is from the vigil held tonight in Buena Vista, honoring those students who died yesterday in that horrific crash. That's just absolutely heartbreaking, but the West Texas community really came together to offer prayers and support, and they offered a ton of financial support as well, with a GoFundMe that's raised, like we said, over $140,000 to this family, which is just going to relieve so many burdens that they're currently dealing with and just help them out a ton. But just an awesome show of support, truly beautiful moment in times of absolute devastation for this community. Now, just a reminder, Buena Vista ISD did close school today, and they're closing again tomorrow. Thanks for joining us tonight. First Alert 7 News at 9. We've got more news.